Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely.
So it's this English learning podcast called Daily Money Briefing.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
It's actually pretty cool. You get the
Yeah.
financial news and kind of a language lesson all in one.
Oh, I like that. Sort of killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly. We're here today to cut through some of that noise around global events. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding some pretty big shifts happening right now, things affecting nations, and yeah, probably touching your world too. Our mission in this deep dive: to pull out the key insights from recent reports and articles. We want to help you grasp how surprisingly connected everything is, and maybe reveal a few things you didn't expect that directly impact daily life.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating, I think, is seeing how events that seem totally separate, a conflict over here, a new policy waiver there, how they're often, well, deeply linked. We're going to try and show you how these seemingly disparate things are actually part of a big picture, giving you a more holistic view.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so first up, headlines have been, well, pretty dominated by rising geopolitical tensions lately. We're seeing these immediate shockwaves in global markets, right?
Yeah.
Specifically from the military clash between Israel and Iran, that instant jump in oil prices.
Hmm.
It's not just about this specific fight, is it? It really highlights how fragile global energy security can be.
Absolutely. It shows how, a localized event can instantly reprice something vital worldwide, like oil.
Right. But thinking beyond just the immediate hit on energy, are there other, maybe less obvious dominoes falling, things listeners should be aware of, perhaps in areas that seem totally unrelated?
Yes. That's where it gets really interesting, actually, because if you look wider, it's not just about crude oil. The sort of surprising ripple here is how this conflict could stretch into sectors like, believe it or not, fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
Yeah, I mean, Middle Eastern countries are huge producers of key fertilizer ingredients, things like urea, sulfur, ammonia. These are, fundamental for modern food production. So any disruption there isn't just a small hiccup. It's potentially a direct threat to the cost of producing food everywhere.
Hmm.
That creates a very real food security challenge that could directly hit your grocery bill soon, especially for countries that import a lot of food.
Wow. Okay, so not just energy security hitting the gas pumps, but food security hitting, well, our dinner tables. That's a connection I think most people wouldn't immediately draw.
Mm.
So we've seen these big global ripples. Let's maybe zoom in a bit now. How does this kind of pressure play out for a specific country? Let's look at South Korea. It's often seen as an economic indicator, right?
Hmm.
But they've actually slipped quite a bit in the latest global competitiveness rankings.
That's right. The IMD rankings, that's the Swiss Business School. South Korea dropped 7 places, down to 27th out of 69 nations. Apparently, that's their steepest fall since they were first included back in 1997.
7 places is quite a drop. And they're now behind rivals like Taiwan and China.
Exactly. Taiwan came in 6th and China at 16th. The IMD looks at 4 main things: economic performance, government efficiency, business efficiency, and infrastructure. Uses about, 337 indicators, and analysts are pointing specifically to South Korea's drop in business efficiency and infrastructure competitiveness. Plus, there's growing political uncertainty and just a general dip in business confidence. It's a pretty clear signal of some underlying challenges for what's usually a very strong economy.
Okay, which leads us perfectly into how governments respond to these kinds of pressures. So to tackle these economic headwinds and competitiveness issues, the South Korean government is actually stepping in. They're proposing a supplementary budget, right?
Yes, they're looking at a second extra budget plan. It's worth around 20 trillion won, which is 14.5 billion US dollars.
And this is on top of an earlier stimulus.
Correct. There was already a first round of about 13.8 trillion won. This new proposal includes direct financial aid for all citizens. We're talking payments potentially up to 500,000 won per person.
So direct cash payments. What's the bigger picture there?
Well, it really reflects the administration's push to, boost consumer spending and try to stabilize people's everyday finances amidst all these challenges. It's a direct attempt to soften that economic slowdown and counteract some of those broader global effects.
It really is incredible how quickly you can trace these threads, from geopolitics shaking up markets to a specific nation's competitiveness ranking, and then right down to a government handing out money to try and manage the fallout. It all weaves together and, it touches our daily lives.
It really does. And that dynamic interplay, that back and forth between global forces and national decisions, it's constant. It's always shifting. Understanding these connections, it isn't just, academic interest. It's actually becoming pretty crucial for navigating the world we live in.
So thinking about all this, here's something for you to consider. Given what we've just unpacked, the global economy, national responses, those unexpected links like fertilizer, how might you start to spot the next set of challenges, or maybe even opportunities, that are emerging from this interconnected world? What new questions does this raise for you about global stability and maybe even just your own everyday life? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.